did these games actually get robbed from Game of the Year? A lot of them have been, but
Game of the Year
let's go.
discussions. I'm gonna keep it real with you, dog. I've been doing content creation for like 3 years. I put Game of the Year discussions as like top 3 most toxic discussions you can have on the internet.
Yeah, because it depends so much. Like, you have so many different types of games. Some games are platformers, some games are action games, some games are puzzle games. So it's really hard to just put them all together and just be like, this is the best one.
Ever. Brother, there are so many things I would rather discuss than like whether my game subjectively should be beating your game in the Game of the Year contest that are designed by
Yeah.
people that are basically anonymous that definitely don't have any special interest at all. I'm sorry, that's a whole other thing. And like here's the problem with the Game of the Year discussion. Even if my game like I could say I don't care. If my favorite game loses to Nintendo again, I will still get fired up, dog. I'm sorry if that like this is
Yeah, but the thing is that Breath of the Wild was a pretty good game.
way before the Game of the Year of this year. If Expedition 33 loses to Donkey Kong,
Yeah, I think Expedition. I haven't played Expedition 33, but I know a lot about it. But the thing is with that game is that it's so unique. It's such a small company, and alright, and also it's only $50, so I think what they've done is actually really good, and they're showing that you don't need like 20,000 people to make a game. You can just use a lot fewer people and just let them actually do the things they can do, is to make a game. And if you don't have these big companies behind it, you can actually make a pretty good game for, number one, quite cheap, and you don't need that many people.
Bonanza, there's probably a video out of me somewhere crashing out, dog. Okay, and that got me thinking. I already made a video of ranking all of the Game of the Years of the past decade. Now, I'm going to be ranking the games that I believe either were robbed or are definitely a second placed, okay? Because when we're looking at Game of the Year discussion, do you know who gets buried in that discussion? The people that lose, even though arguably speaking, some of these games in my
Yeah, because everybody's just talking about the Game of the Year, and they don't really care about the rest of the nominees.
humble opinion that I'm going to illustrate to you in this video, I believe we're robbed completely and utterly, and I will offer up some reasoning for why I believe that. Okay, that is going to be the video. From the year 2014 all the way up to the year of 2024, we are going to be going through games that I believe were robbed or deserved a bit more rewards at their Game of the Year award. Okay, if this video sounds entertaining, you consider like, comment, and subscribe. We're trying to get to 250,000 subscribers before the end of the year.
Yeah, and by the way, I will leave a link down below. So.
No, not 300. No. That's small potatoes. 500,000 subscribers before the release of GTA 6. So that is the goal.
So like 5 years should be possible.
And all you got to do, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon to stay notified. I'm going to be putting merch up within the next couple of, I think in the next couple of weeks I'll do some merch. We just got to work out a few things with the design, and then we can start making those available to buy. Okay, sorry, intro was long. Let's get into games that I believe were robbed at Game of the Year. Let's go. 2014 Shadow.
2014, that's a long way back. What game actually won Game of the Year 2014?
Of Mordor. Yeah! Dude, let me just tell you something.
I've never played Shadow of Mordor, but I've played Shadow of War.
Bro. Shadow of Mordor. Let me load up my my doc of who won Game of the Year. I know this year it was Dragon Age Inquisition, but
again, I never played that. That's over 10 years ago.
Like,
Jesus.
Some of these I just admittedly forgot, okay? Because the Game of the Year one, I got the years wrong, and like, to be frank with you, I'm sorry. Shadow of Mordor versus Dragon Age Inquisition. I'm gonna keep it real with you, dog. I think Shadow of Mordor arguably should have won.
Again, not played any of those, but so I'm
gonna keep it real. Is it
like, I can't say too much about it.
Is that a downright robbery? Absolutely not. However, I think Shadow of Mordor, with it, what it does with the Nemesis system, okay? And let me just tell you something. There's only one bad part about the Nemesis system, and I'll explain it really quick, okay? The Nemesis system was something that was integrated into Shadow of Mordor to begin with, and then was put in the...
Yeah, and they copyrighted it, so nobody else can use it, which is pretty stupid, because I don't feel like that's so specific to one thing. Like a Koopa from Mario, for example, it's not so specific. So I think it shouldn't have been copyrighted. Or
Shadow of War. It was made by Monolith Studios, which is owned by Warner Bros. And basically what it is it is the system that wherever you go on the map, if a random enemy takes you out, that random enemy will remember its time being around you. And that random enemy can become a straight up, like, boss fight to the end of the game. You can actually have beef with enemies in this game. I just need that to be stated.
yeah, and that feels like just like a normal thing that would kind of happen, you know. If you have an orc that beats you, he will get promoted. So again, I don't think this is a game specific thing. That's why I don't think it should be copyrighted.
Okay, the idea that the game actively learns how to beat you and will construct enemies to be able to beat you. And I'm gonna be real here, bro. I cringe when I say this, but like, people talk about, like, what is an actual use case of, like, AI? Dude, I ain't gonna lie to you. Having an AI and a nemesis system go hand in hand, where there's actually something that, like, remembers the last time it was facing you, and, like, the robot from Incredibles is actively trying to create new strategies to be able to beat you, I'll be honest with you, I don't hate that use case. I don't, okay?
Yeah, again, that could be a pretty good use case. Like, you can put it in any type of game. If you play aggressively, the AI would automatically maybe play more defensively, or just whatever, you know. If you take more distance, the enemy may approach you more and shit like that. So I think AI in those use cases could be pretty good in games.
And that was so groundbreaking in Shadow of Mordor that no other company even attempt to beat that, okay? Still hasn't been done outside of Shadow of War. Shadow of War, it was even better, and now these characters actually...
Yeah, because it's copyrighted. They can't.
They have lines that can build off some stuff that happened afterwards, and things were going good. And then Warner Bros. Announced that they are not going to allow Monolith Studios to make their next game, and have closed down the Nemesis system and copywriting it until the year, I think it's 2032. We will no longer get the
But that's 7 years.
Nemesis system until the year 2032 because Warner Bros. Did a little bit of innovating and they copyrighted the shit out of it. I'm sorry, bro. The Shadow of Mordor, I like Shadow of Mordor more than I like Dragon Age Inquisition. And I know somebody's going to say, oh, well, that's a gimmick. I reward innovation. Shadow of Mordor did more innovating with its design of the Nemesis system. It just didn't allow it to proliferate. I'm going to put it in, I would put it in, I'll put it great now.
Yeah, again, I can't say. I haven't played Dragon Age, so.
I might move it down later.
Or Shadow of Mordor.
Later on. Do I believe it was robbed? It's not that egregious, but I would personally pick Shadow of Mordor over Dragon Age Inquisition. But that's purely, like, what my opinion. 2015, Bloodborne versus Witcher 3. Oh, bro, that's stacked. That's crazy, actually.
I understand why Witcher 3 won, because it's a game for, I would say, more people. Bloodborne is a game for more specific gamers, so I can understand why Witcher 3 won, but I think Bloodborne is a better game.
Dude, okay. Bloodborne versus Witcher 3. The truth is, bro, is I could be a deluded FromSoft fan, and I can say Bloodborne got robbed. However, I'm just going to admit it right now. Witcher 3 is a legitimate masterpiece, okay? Literally one of the top 3 games to be released within the past decade. I put Witcher 3, Elden Ring, and Baldur's Gate 3 in the same conversation of innovative game design as, like, together. When I'm looking at Bloodborne, the truth is Bloodborne has some of the best world design I've seen in any FromSoft game.
Yep.
It has a world design that isn't done very often. It does the very dark, gothic, very...
Yeah, and that's what I like about Bloodborne. It's unique when it comes to the art style and the world. You normally don't see a game like that. You have like Lies of P, which is kinda similar, but still, it isn't the same.
Very well. The weapons are some of the best in the entirety of FromSoft games. The enemy design is amazing. The bosses are good. Everything's great in this game. Lovecraftian-inspired gothic like architecture. I dig it. I love it. And I'm gonna keep it real here, dog. I could say it was robbed, but I'm not gonna say it. I think Bloodborne, like, losing to Witcher 3 is more than fair. I think Bloodborne 100% was number 2 there. I'm gonna put Bloodborne. I think you have to put it in an amazing. If I have to move one up to Robbed, I'll move one up to Robbed, but I already see one that I already know I'm gonna put in Robbed. But I'm gonna put Bloodborne in amazing.
Probably Red Dead Redemption 2, I
And
guess.
I think that's valid. 2016 Overwatch
Oh, Overwatch versus
Game of the Year
Titanfall 2.
versus Titanfall 2. Yes, I'm doing.
The problem is that Overwatch have stayed for a longer time and have had more players, but Titanfall 2 is a pretty good game. It is a pretty good game. This is again pretty difficult because I see why Overwatch won at the time, because it was very unique with the hero shooting aspect of it. Right, it was like kind of the first game that ever did that, and now you have many clones, and now you look at Overwatch and it seems a bit more dull, but at the time I can see why Overwatch won. Titanfall 2 is more of a... It was more similar to games of that time, like Call of Duty and shit. But why didn't we get a Titanfall 3, man?
Titanfall 2. I could have done Doom 2016, and you can make an argument that Doom...
Oh, Doom 2016 too. Okay, yeah. That's... Yeah, but I cannot... I understand why Overwatch won. Because everybody knows Overwatch. It was a pretty good big game, and it has done a lot of things. And a lot of... like, it has done a lot of things right, and also wrong.
2016 should have beaten Overwatch, but I'm going to be real here. Overwatch just had an otherworldly level of a gooner fan base, and it did do a good level of, like, the hero shooter innovating. Now, I've already said this. I think Overwatch has overall contributed to a net negative in the entirety of gaming, but I think it's a good game. Another example of this, Fortnite.
Yeah, again, you have, like, all the loot boxes and shit.
I think Fortnite has done unbelievable damage to games.
Yeah, Fortnite has really fucked things up. That's just a disaster with the battle passes, with the live service aspect of it, just like everything. Battle royales, how everybody was like, yeah, we're gonna make a battle royale shit. But it's done a lot of damage
as an entirety and normalized a lot of very predatory business practices, and kind of like, I'm gonna sound like a boomer. Fortnite doing the crossovers, I like it because they do it the best. Call of Duty doing these crossovers is just cringe.
Yeah, it feels wrong when you have like a military shooter and then you just pull out Nicki Minaj or something.
And before you hit me with Call of Duty was always goofy. Buddy, you know there was a different level of goofy from the original Modern Warfare games all the way up to what we got now. There was a point where it was super goofy as it was pretty respectful and grounded. You know there was a point to there. No, it was never a full-out milsim, but it was respectful of what it was adapting. Modern Call of Duty just isn't. I'll just be honest with you. Brother, Beavis and Butthead.
Yeah, they don't have any identity anymore.
It is now a character inside of Call of Duty. I need that to be stated. What the fuck are we talking about? Okay? Titanfall 2? Dude, you know what pisses me off about that? Like, actually makes me mad? The fact that Titanfall 2, because it didn't win Game of the Year, literally got shelved forever by EA because they released it at the worst possible time because they didn't want to make another one. Titanfall 2 deserved so much better. And you want me to be honest with you? I'm not gonna put it in robbed, because to be robbed you also have to be a masterpiece, and I acknowledge that there are problems with Titanfall 2, but I hold Titanfall 2 in a different level of standard than I do Overwatch. I don't get mad at Overwatch because I don't expect anything from Overwatch.
Yeah, again, I think a lot of people become bored of Overwatch, and then you look back and you're like, damn, what the fuck? But I remember back in the day when Overwatch came out, Jesus, that was hype, you know. Just playing with your friends, just, yeah.
I've played it, didn't really like it. Whenever I play Overwatch, it's like I don't expect much, okay? That's just the truth. When I'm looking at Titanfall 2, everything from the enemy AI to the movement tech, to the weapons, to the Titans, I have to put it, and it is an amazing game, dude. No. I'm gonna put it in amazing. I do put it above Shadow of Mordor slightly because this is certain level how much they got robbed and certain level how great I think the game is. That is how I'm roughly ranking this if I'm being for real. But I think this is pretty fair. If anything, I would move Titanfall 2 down and move Shadow of Mordor down to good if I'm gonna fill out these tiers. Actually, I'm gonna fill out these tiers if I'm being honest. 2017 Legend of
Zelda Breath of the Wild.
The Breath of the Wild 1, Horizon Zero Dawn, did it get robbed? No.
No.
No, not at all.
Breath of the Wild was a different beast. It just revolutionized the open world genre, and it was a pretty good game. It has some flaws, but again, Horizon Zero Dawn, nah, isn't better.
Not even a remote robbery. You know, bro, dude, Horizon Zero Dawn got hilariously unlucky. Dude, I've said this multiple times. It's not even a hot take. This is just a room temperature take at this point. Horizon Zero Dawn's greatest sin is it literally releases by the biggest games of the decade. Like, I'm not even kidding you. Horizon Zero Dawn somehow releases by Zelda Breath of the Wild and Elden Ring. I'm sorry, dude. The only way you can become more unlucky is if Horizon Zero Dawn 3 or Horizon whatever comes out the week or the day of GTA 6. You literally cannot get more unlucky than that. Horizon Zero Dawn, it's a pretty good game. It's a pretty good game. I would put it, it's pretty good. It's a pretty good game. I'll put it in meh because I need to fill out these tiers. You know what?
Yeah, again, it's decent, but
I'm gonna name meh.
It's not on the same level as Breath of the Wild.
To good, and I'm gonna name good to very good. I think that's fair, actually. I think that's a better description of these. Horizon Zero Dawn, all of well, it kind of is a basic open world, but I think the enemy design, I think the world design, I think
yeah, like the aspect of it is pretty nice. You know how you have like going back in like with bow and arrows and shit, but you also have this advanced tech.
The weapons are fun in this game. I think Aloy is actually a pretty underrated lead, and I think with we're taking all of that into account, I think Horizon Zero Dawn earns a spot as it's a good game. Was it robbed? Absolutely not. Zelda clears, and it's not even close, dude.
Yeah.
2018 God of War 1, I believe RDR2 was robbed.
Yeah, this is a difficult one. Like the thing is that I think that God of War is a game for more people, if that makes sense. Like if you give 100 people God of War, I think more of them will be like, I think this is a great game. When you have like the same 100 people playing Red Dead Redemption, I think you will have more people that's like, I didn't really like it, but you'll also have more people that's like, this is a lot better game. The thing is with the Red Dead Redemption, it has some flaws which depending on who you are, may affect it differently. For example, the realism of things, how like everything takes ages, riding around on your horse, you know, cleaning your weapons, that can be annoying, very annoying for a lot of people. God of War is more of like a straight, like decent game all around. It doesn't have any of these flaws that some people can think is annoying.
Legitimately, now this is where I'm putting my...
But I think that Red Dead Redemption is still a better game than... It's still a better game than God of War.
Flag in the sand. It's not even a hot take to say RDR2 got robbed. You realize that? Like, when people say, like, what's your gaming hot take, and you try to say RDR2 got robbed of Game of the Year, nobody even bats an eye at that take anymore. And it's not because, well, it's a popular bad take. No. RDR2, with given more like, it's been years, dude. It has been, oh my goodness, bro. It's been 8 years since RDR2 has come out. I want you to think about that. RDR2 has become, like, oh my goodness, yeah, it's not even a hot take. It's literally a room temperature take. RDR2, years afterwards, is still as relevant to the conversation of gaming than any other game that's come out so far this year. I want you to think about that. God of War, and I love God of War. I'm going to bring up God of War Ragnarok later on in this.
Like, both games are pretty good, but Red Dead Redemption did a lot. But again, a lot of people would hate it because it's so realistic.
Video. But when I'm really looking at this, RDR2 legitimately got robbed of Game of the Year. I have no clue how it didn't win. I'm sorry, it is actually...
Yeah, I also think it's crazy because how big it is, how beautiful it is, the writing, the dialogue, like it just had a lot of things.
Kind of in saying how it didn't. It has better world design.
Yeah.
Don't get better world design, way better story. I will.
Yeah, I think it dragged out from time to time. It was like, oh damn, some people from my gang just got kidnapped. Jesus, we have to get them. I think they dragged it out a little too much. I don't remember how long the game is, like 40, 50 hours. I think you could have pressed it down to like 30 maybe, and it would be better. But I think that again, the story in God of War isn't that great. A lot of the characters are great, but not the story. It's just like, we just have to climb this mountain. Oh shit, that's the wrong mountain. So what do we have to do now? We just have to go to another dimension. But no, we can't go to that dimension to get on the bigger mountain. So you just have to do some random ass shit.
Fight you on that. God of War. Oh, you know what? You know what? Hot take. Crass out. Crass out. God of War Ragnarok legitimately fucking destroys some of the story building and the world building that they were doing of the
I've not played Ragnarok yet.
original God of War 2018. God of War 2018 story looks so much worse in hindsight once you find out what happens in Ragnarok. And I'll say this right now. I'll talk about more of this in God of War Ragnarok. God of War Ragnarok's story is you can tell. You can legitimately tell when the writers were like, it. Let's just end it. It. Yeah, dude, Ragnarok. Done. Dude, it is... Oh! I hate how quickly Ragnarok ends. It is so fast. And then they want to say, oh, well, but no, I can't. RDR2 has a way better story. The characters, I would argue Arthur Morgan. Dude, and this is where it's unfair. They'll be like, well, Kratos is a better character than Arthur Morgan. Arthur Morgan got one game. One game, dude. I'm sorry, dude. God of RDR2 legitimately robbed a game of the year. It is a...
I can agree, but I can also see why God of War won, because I think it's more of a... Some people can be really annoyed, again, at some things that RDR2 did, but I don't think a lot of people would get really annoyed of something that God of War did, and I feel like it's more of a safe bet to give somebody God of War than Red Dead Redemption, because they may end up not liking it at all. But I also think that you have a lot more people that thinks RDR2 is at like the top of the games, and I can agree with that, and I think has been robbed.
A masterpiece. It is on here. Dude, when I was talking about the game of the year of the past decade, RDR2 made it on the list because most people believe RDR2 got robbed. I'm sorry, dude. With the benefit of hindsight, I have no clue how God of War won. And I love that game. I do. RDR2 is just better.
It could be the hype, though. It could be that, like, Red Dead Redemption, I think, wasn't that big when it came out, so nobody really was, like, super hyped for Red Dead Redemption 2. Not in the same way as God of War.
It simply is just better. I'm sorry, robbed. 2019, Sekiro wins Game of the Year, Death Stranding. Okay. Did it get robbed?
I've not played Death Stranding, but I've heard that it's a walking simulator, and I think for some people they may like super enjoy Death Stranding, but for most people, like, yeah, I think Sekiro should have won.
No, it didn't. You know what, bro? I will face on the Kojima fans right now on this one. I think Kojima is an objectively, absurdly talented gaming developer. I think what he did with Metal Gear Solid 5, I think what he's done with Metal Gear as a whole is exceedingly impressive. I actually think one of the greatest things that Kojima has ever created is a game that was never fully made, and that being PT. When people make the joke that Kojima was the guy to help resurrect Resident Evil, and some people get angry when I say that. It's like, well, Resident Evil wasn't actually dead. Resident Evil was 100%, just about every single metric that I could show you, was in a downward trajectory. I don't know why people get pressed when I bring that up. No. Resident Evil was undeniably...
But I plan on playing Death Stranding really soon, though.
Undeniably going in a downward trajectory. Why do you think they...
Because I have it on the Epic Game Store. For free.
Took a break for Resident Evil 7 and then reinvented the franchise, okay? And they did it directly because of...
Yeah, Resident Evil also got saved by 7.
PT. This is admitted to by their developers. Kojima has a mind that is literally built for horror games. Okay? And I'm saying all of this because this is what I'm going to say. I don't like Death Stranding. I don't like it as nearly as much as some other people. I think Death Stranding 1 is like an 8. I think it's an 8 out of 10. And I think Death Stranding 2 is literally just more of the same, and that's an 8. I'm just
Okay. 8 is pretty decent.
not loving it. And it's weird because Death Stranding 2 gets praised for a lot of the same things that we get mad at Ubisoft for. It is large, empty, open world. Is a large majority of your game. And this is where it bothers me.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure, like, compared to Ubisoft games, Death Stranding, that's like kind of the point. That sounds stupid, but yeah.
Me. I get mad at Ubisoft, I'll get mad at Death Stranding. The part that bothers me is Kojima fans will call it innovative game design. No, it's not. The combat is not innovative. Do you know what is innovative? The optimization of Death Stranding 1 and 2 is otherworldly. That is groundbreaking.
Yeah, looks beautiful. I've seen the Death Stranding 2, you know, the beginning, the like the beginning when he walks across the mountains. It looks incredible.
Do you know what else is groundbreaking? The enemy design is groundbreaking. Some of the world design is amazing.
Yeah, I also seen like some cutscenes here and there of some very cool cutscenes.
The gameplay is not innovative. It just isn't.
Yeah, like, again, I don't know, but it looks kind of basic, walking around, basic shooting and shit. Like, I think what Kojima's really good at is the story stuff.
I have not one moment of me playing Death Stranding I thought to myself, holy shit, this is innovative game design. I've seen it in other games and I've arguably seen it done better. Weapon play done way better in Ghost Recon. I'll say that. Ghost Recon Wildlands has better gunplay than Death Stranding. I have no clue what people are huffing to say otherwise. That's crazy, dude. I'm sorry. Death Stranding, I think it's good. I would literally rather play all of these games than Death Stranding.
Okay, and again, I think Death Stranding, like, you don't have any middle ground. I think you would either, this is just what I've heard, you know, you either hate it or you love it. There isn't really anything between. And I think that's maybe like the same thing with Red Dead Redemption 2. Either you can get really involved with it and you either love it, or you just don't get it and then you hate it.
That's a matter of opinion. I get it. I'm sorry, bro. I just need y'all to understand how I view it.
Like, compared to like Horizon Zero Dawn, which I think you have more of a middle ground. Most people think that it's just okay. It's a good game. I don't think you don't have that many people that thinks it's amazing, and you don't have that many people that thinks it's horrible.
2020, Last of Us Part 2 won Game of the Year. I believe Doom Eternal got robbed. I know.
I haven't played Last of Us. Again, planning to do it, but Doom
Eternal. I could have said
that's a pretty good game.
Ghost of Tsushima, but no, wait.
Ghost of Tsushima also came out.
Ghost of Tsushima. I could say that. I think narratively you can make an easier argument. I think Ghost of Tsushima at this point is an underrated game because the amount of people that want to say, oh, well, it's mid. I'm sorry, bro. If it took you 5 years to say a game was mid, it's not mid. It took 5 years of gameplay flacing to admit that, then it's not mid. I'm sorry. That's how I view it. Doom Eternal is so fucking good. From a gameplay standpoint, and this is how I leverage it. This is how I when I'm ranking my criteria. Gameplay reigns supreme.
Again, that depends on the player. Somebody may want to just have a great story. Somebody just wants good gameplay.
Will overlook how confusing a story is, how bad a story is, if your gameplay can fucking carry. Okay? Yeah. And when I'm looking at Doom Eternal, I'll say this. Last of Us Part 2 has amazing gameplay. It's the story, weirdly enough, that actually starts dragging it down a little bit. Okay? When I'm looking at Doom Eternal's gameplay is arguably the best an FPS has ever had since Titanfall 2. I'll say that. The only other games that I put in terms of level of gameplay loop that I would like near the same argument as a Doom Eternal would be like a Titanfall 2. Other than that, dude, Doom Eternal reigns unbelievably supreme. And I'll say this right now. Do I believe it was robbed? No. However, you know what? I'm gonna say Doom Eternal.
Again, I don't know that much about Last of Us. I'm trying to be spoiler free. So
Is an amazing game that you can make an argument of a robbery, but at the end of the
again, I've played Doom Eternal, and it's very good, but I wouldn't put it at like the top of the games.
day it won best FPS of the year. I'm okay with that. Top of amazing. I think that's valid. 2021, It Takes Two won Game of the Year. I believe Resident Evil Village was robbed. Yes. And I understand this is a matter of opinion. I 100% understand this. I'm not gonna tear into It Takes Two.
Yeah, again, these games are so different from each other that it's pretty hard to compare them.
I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna tear into it. Resident Evil Village, in my opinion, should have just won Game of the Year. Oh, why could you say that? I don't enjoy It Takes Two. I just don't. Oh, what do you mean by I just don't? I literally just don't. I understand this is a very big matter of opinion. Resident Evil Village, far better story. Far better story. It's not even close to me. And like, this is the problem when we're having this conversation. If you bring up the argument, oh, well, how can you compare these two games? I agree with you. It's wild that these two have to be compared. The problem is that they have to because they were both Game of the Year nominated. They're vastly different games. I 100% agree with you. I think Resident Evil Village got robbed. I'm gonna put it in robbed. It's not as egregious as RDR2, but oh my goodness, bro, Village. Yeah, I'll say robbed. 2022, Elden Ring won Game of the Year. Did God of War Ragnarok get robbed? No.
Nope.
Literally no.
Nope.
Like not even no, not at all. I'm not even kidding.
Elden Ring, the best game I've ever played. So, yeah.
Nah, brother, I'm sorry. You can make an argument. Horizon,
I think we can just skip this. This isn't even an argument.
A great game. Yeah, but like not even close to robbery. Great game, but not a robbery in the slightest. 2023, Baldur's Gate 3 won Game of the Year. Did Zelda Tears of the Kingdom?
I've heard a lot about Baldur's Gate. I know some friends of mine like really enjoys it, and I don't think Tears of the Kingdom should have won because it's just Breath of the Wild, just more, right? Breath of the Wild it's like this whole thing, but Tears of the Kingdom is just more of that. So
get robbed? I don't think so. I'm gonna be real here. I'm not very strongly opinionated on this one because I'm not a big Nintendo fan. I'll just keep it real with you. There's certain games I have to give respect on it. I know Zelda Tears of the Kingdom is a great game. I know that for certain.
It's great, but it's just like more of the same. So.
But at the same time, dog, Baldur's Gate 3, I'm very happy they won. And I'm not...
Yeah, I think they've innovated like a lot.
Not even again, like I'm not a big fan of Baldur's Gate 3 either. I'm an Elden Ring fanboy. I acknowledge that. Zelda... I'm sure it's an amazing. I'm not very heavily opinionated on this one. I played some of it. I liked parts of it. Other than that, like, have you ever played a game and you understand why it's loved, but it's personally not your thing? That's how I feel about Zelda games. I understand why it's popular, not my thing. Baldur's Gate 3 winning, I'm sorry, it literally propelled game design forward for the entirety of turn-based games. I have to give it that respect, and for that, I'm putting Zelda. It's an amazing game, but I put it right there.
I agree.
2024, did Astrobot rob Black Myth Wukong? Do you want to know what I think the problem was? The problem is that platformers, for a large portion of the gaming audience, and you can actually argue the majority because the majority of the gaming audience is not playing Astrobot. For the majority of the gaming audience are just not a big fan of platformers. Okay? I played it. I understand the hype for it. Not my personal thing. But Black Myth Wukong is literally the lowest rated critic game to ever get nominated for Game of the Year. But this is where people lose me. When people...
It had like 2 million players or something at the point.
Say the game was bad. No, it wasn't. I'm sorry, dude. The amount of bad reviews I saw from games journalists on this game was so actively, like, mind-blowing that I'm...
Yeah, and the reasoning was crazy. Some people are like, oh, you don't have enough females. And then you just play a little bit more, and then you have, like, a lot of females. It's
like,
just...
what do you mean you think the game's bad because it lacks diversity? I'm literally playing as a monkey, Felisa.
Yeah, and the only people, or, like, people, yeah, I've seen, like, some, like, spider ladies. The only people that resemble people are women.
What are you talking about, dude? You want to talk about like some stuff? I'm not. Let me get the exact ones right. They got mad at the game for lacking in diversity, and you saw that, and you're like, okay, so it doesn't have a lot of enemy types. No, they got mad that the only women in the game were 3 spider women. Are you serious? Are you serious right now? Get out of here, dude. I wouldn't say
Like, it's Chinese mythology, so what are you going to do? You just use the characters you have there.
it's a 9.
They didn't make this world.
I wouldn't say it's like an 8.5. I think Black Myth Wukong's a better game than Death Stranding. Oh, that's my hot take. Black Myth Wukong's a better game than Death Stranding 2. That's my hot take. That's my hot take here. I think it's very good. I hold it in that regard. Was it robbed? It's a matter of conjecture. Am I an Astrobot fan? No, I'm biased. But Black Myth Wukong, admittedly, is just a very good game. It's not anything too high. And there you go. Those are some games to come out within the past decade that I may or may not think were robbed of Game of the Year, okay? Leave it in the comment section down below if you think that they were robbed or not, or what other games got robbed or not. I didn't do all of the nominations because that admittedly would take way longer, and I want to keep the Tuesday videos to like a sorter-esque video because I'm aware of how my analytics look. If you enjoyed this video, please consider like, comment, and subscribe. We're trying to get to 250,000 subscribers before the end of the year. That is the goal. And we're trying to get to 500,000 subscribers before the release of GTA 6, and that's another goal. Hit the bell icon to stay notified. We try to get at least 3 to 4 uploads out a week. I think we're going to be able to hit 5 this week. And if you like that, again, hit the bell icon to stay notified.
Yeah, again, channel is in description below, but again, I think most Game of the Year deserved it, but you have some that I don't think, especially 2018, where you had Red Dead Redemption, but yeah, I think overall it has been pretty okay, but it's difficult when you have so many different types of games. And that's it. Bye. But before you go, you see this guy? He's pretty cool. So give a like for him and subscribe. It would mean a lot, you know. New channel and shit. So bye.